Ladies and gentlemen, once again, coming to you through the magic of Wi-Fi, and hopefully our Wi-Fi holds up. I got a nice storm getting ready to hit, and I know you don't care about my trials and tribulations down here in Florida. My name is Johnny Bottles, and I am joined by the man to my left, Mr. Don Wayne. Don?
What up?
And below us...
I'm ready! God, I'm ready!
He's fired up today, folks. It's going to be a wild show.
Sons
And the mighty
bitches.
Motorhead 711 is the man below us. Motor, how you doing out there in Cali?
Good. 96 degrees today. Not too bad. No.
Damn, that's brutal.
Yeah, little, and the humidity's coming. This is the time of year where it gets humid, but not bad. Glad to be with you guys again.
Yeah, we're rocking. We're rocking 91 here.
Ah,
I can't beat the 96, man.
my back is still sick. Good God.
All right, there's a lot of late breaking news that has hit the internets recently. Don, what would you like to start out with right now?
This week started off just bad, like a boring ass week. And the last 72 to 48 hours, it's just broken wide open. And we got tattoos of the Blues at AEW, man. We got guys getting tattoos with fake numbers. And did you see that the official gate total came in from everybody that went through the turnstile? And I don't want to hear the bullshit from the AEW cryhards. I don't want to hear it. This is what you guys have been using to judge the WWE on forever. If you're going to use the metric, this is the metric. You said the WWE only had 80,000 people coming to WrestleMania 32 for Dallas, right? That was a number, like 82,000, something like that. That's a number. You guys said it was at 95. It wasn't 95. It was only 82. You had 72,000 people show up for your show, not 80. You had 72,000, not 80, not 75. And if you're going to tell me, well, maybe they didn't go to the turnstile, do you not think that perhaps that could have happened in the WWE? And if you're going to tell me that they sold that many tickets, here's another bullshit call I'm going to make. That means one-eighth of your buys didn't even show up. Nowhere does that happen for a major event like this. 1/8 of your damn fans you're going to tell me didn't show up? Get out of here. You're as full of shit as Tony Khan. He sold you all, hook, line, and sinker, and you all bought it because you want the WWE to fail so bad. You've got a less than product, and it just showed up. Great call, though. Can't take it away. AEW doing 72,000 is great. That's a big number. Don't tell me it's 82. Don't piss on me and tell me it's rated.
And don't say it's the largest crowd ever for a wrestling event, because it was nowhere near the largest crowd ever for a wrestling event. Motor, I'm going to read you this statement from Brent Council, the Brent Council, Trading Standards Licensing Food and Entertainment and Hospitality. It's a statement from Brett Borough Council, which is a county that the Wembley Stadium is in. They have boroughs there, I believe, or councils. In America, a lot of the times they're called counties. It says, I can confirm that Brett Council holds the information you have requested. The actual numbers registered entering the stadium through the turnstiles was 72,265. This is reflective of what attended on the night and not the total number of tickets sold or no-shows, etc. If you are dissatisfied with the way in which your request has been handled or the outcome, you may request an internal review within 2 calendar months of this date of this response of writing the blah, 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 blah. It's the Brent Civic Center, Engineers Way, Wembley. That's straight from Wembley Stadium themselves. How many people went through that turnstile to see this show? So, what do you think of that, sir?
I'm thinking desperation's a very stinky cologne, if you guys know what I mean. He knows right now in America, the numbers are dropping steadily. They're not packing the venues that they have. I mean, look how many times we've seen the empty seats. They might pan everybody over and say, hey, this is great. We're a packed house. But now the truth really comes out. The truth really comes out. And all three of us already kind of figured there's no way in heck those numbers that Tony Khan was spouting out there were legit. No freaking way. There we go.
You see this? You see that picture? That was last night.
Was that last night's
show?
2,000 people.
Yep.
The building holds, I believe, 18. They had 2,000 people. Right?
Yes, sir.
So what they had in Wembley is what has been said by all the podcasts, the major guys. All the guys that have been out there have been saying it from day one. This was an event People were going to the event, and I'm going to come back to this because I'm still going to call bullshit on 82,000 tickets sold. You're not going to convince me that 10,000 people didn't show up. What you can convince me is that Tony Khan bought 10,000 tickets to cover his ass and to be able to make the claim that he sold the most tickets for a one-night wrestling show in wrestling history. Otherwise, This is all bull. It's nonsense. It's bull malarkey. I don't believe any of it. Like I said earlier, an eighth of your ticket sales didn't show up. An eighth of your ticket sales, 10,000 people no-showed. And you want me to believe that you sold those to legitimate fans. I'm calling nonsense. Bottles, I want to know what you think.
This is what I think. I think the ticket sales weren't moving there, even though allegedly it's got more station coverage, more channel coverage over there in Great Britain than the WWE has. I believe the WWE is contracted through Sky Sports. They're on the Sky Sports network there only. AEW is on independent stations over there. I don't know whether it's a syndicated show, much like the old WCW Saturday Night, you know what I mean? Or the afternoon Saturday and Sunday shows that the NWA used to put on. I don't know how it's structured over there in the British Broadcasting Corporation. However, I do know what is fraud. And when I saw all the upper deck seats at Wembley Stadium stone cold empty, either that or was people dressed like red empty seats.
Yeah.
I knew it. There's no way that stadium is. There's no way it's 82,500 people there. There's no effing way. Tickets were as low as $10. 10 American dollars to go to that show. I don't know how you can call it a success. I don't know how you can call it a watershed moment in your promotion when you have draw crowds like you did last night for a live television broadcast in the United States of America. When you have you have an arena that holds 18,000 people and you can barely put 2,000 in it. It's amazing. How can those people who were fans of this of All Friends Wrestling, how can these people who were fans say, "Hey, we're fantastic. We're going to revolutionize the business. It's just win-win-win for us. We're going to sign Sasha Banks. We're going to sign Edge." You're not making any money.
No.
You're not making money. It's not. I got to do an argument today with a kid online. It's not a profitable company. It's not. They're in the hole. Every goddamn week, they are in the hole. They're not making money. He's paying. He's not even breaking even. They're not even breaking even on payroll. The payroll's so high. That's why they're quietly. He doesn't want to be a bad guy. He doesn't want to put a public notice out there like the WWE does, Motorhead. You know, best wishes to Sonny Kiss and all of his/hers future endeavors. There's no announcements like that. He just quietly lets them go. He ghosts people. He does not call them back. He doesn't return their phone calls. He does not entertain signing somebody or keeping them on the payroll at a lesser contract. You're just done. If he's got no use for you, he cuts you loose. You're just done. He's not the man of the hour, the white knight who's a fanboy. Like he's a fanboy, all right. He's a fanboy. Oh, yeah. He's a fanboy like those Red Bull swilling, Cheetos eating, Papa John's wolfing kids who were sitting in their boxer shorts in their parents' basement, masturbating furiously to Jade Cargill and Britt Baker. Of course, you're not going to have that. You're not going to have that now, guys, because Jade Cargill is moving on to bigger and better things. But that's another story. I'll pause that right now.
That's big.
I'm blowing the lead. This is a big tale that we're about to tell you soon. But, Don?
I want to say this. So you had 72,000 people show up. It's a great event. I can't take anything away from what they did. But here's my issue with the entire process and what they said through their controlled media, through Dave Meltzer and his ilk, was it's the biggest wrestling event ever. It's the biggest wrestling event ever. It's a huge wrestling event. No one's saying that it's not. What it was bigger than the biggest wrestling company in the history of the world. You're not there yet. You had an event. You want to know how I know it's an event? Because you sold 2,000 tickets when you got back home to a live TV show. Raw was hanging from the rafters again. And it's not even a great product right now. They had 1.35 million people watch it against a really good Monday Night Football game. And they still got 1 million people to tune into that shit. There's going to be changes, I think, coming. But what you have in AEW is bland, stale, uncharismatic for the most part people. They've got about 5 or 6 guys that really they could push behind that roster that people want to tune in to watch. That's just my opinion. And one of them hasn't been on TV in 3 goddamn months. Can someone tell me where he is?
He's a homegrown star. He's a guy that we mention a lot. He's a homegrown star that was organically created by the fans digging what he's got, what he does in the ring. And he was, you could say he was silent but violent. He didn't talk much. He hardly spoke at all, but he was a big bruiser of a guy. And you could take him right now, Don and Motor. Motor, you agree with me. You could take Wardlow.
I can't say his name. I can't even say his name.
Drop him right into the WWE right now. And he would be nudging the main event scene starting out and being in the main event scene by the middle of next year.
Absolutely.
Do you agree?
Dude, I mean, God, I hope that guy's contract's running out soon. That guy would be a great fit in NXT because he's so raw. He's still young enough to where they can teach him a few things, still figure out how to work, and he can still get over with his power bomb. Like, dude, please tell me that guy's contract is coming up soon because he's wasting talent right now with where he is. He's just wasted away.
Yep.
God, Motor.
One of these guys, AEW stockpiles, Tony Khan, and just like you mentioned, he quietly just kind of lets him go into obscurity in the Where Are They Now file, and we never see him again. And it's a shame because Don mentioned it just a second ago. Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 guys in AEW that could really make a difference, and he is definitely, I've always thought he's definitely one of them. And when AEW started out, just on a little tiny side note, I wanted them to succeed. I wanted the company to do good. You know, it's a take. You can't never have too much wrestling on, in my opinion. You know, but then as time went on, and we started to see some stars they had that could have been stars get buried, and other ones they gave pushes to that couldn't even bag your groceries at a supermarket.
Okay, Hulk Hogan.
Already.
Remember when Hogan said that?
Yeah. One of them said, to hell with this, I'm going home to WWE, and now he's one of the biggest stars in the industry right now. Cody Rhodes said, I've had enough of this shit. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Vince McMahon flew to see him personally. That's what I think. The whole thing is again, you had a great show. You had 72,000 people. Stop feeding the bullshit.
Exactly.
Stop pushing the bullshit wrestling media. Stop pushing it. The numbers are there. You can't tell me on one hand that you're going to only count the turnstile for one company, but when the other company, it's whatever the owner says it was. Piss off. I also want to say thanks, everybody, for joining us today. I know it's a little bit earlier than usual. Larry, all you guys at the SCM, thanks for coming out.
Okay.
Fired up
AEW.
right now.
I got into it with a guy today about someone leaving AEW. And you know, everybody wants to bag. He said everybody wants to bag on AEW, but that's a company that is maybe the secondary promotion, but we're going to win, we're going to take over, and we are providing, AEW's providing a livelihood for all of your favorite wrestlers. And you shouldn't bag on a company that's doing that. And I said, providing a livelihood for your favorite wrestlers. I didn't know. I forgot my exact reply. It was something along the lines of, I didn't know that it was a charity.
Exactly. Is this a charity we're doing here, or is this entertainment?
I'm now going to call it ACW, All Charities Wrestling, because they're providing a livelihood for a payroll of probably 150 people, and no one's making a dime. The company's not making a dime, except for the workers. The workers are making money on the back, out of the pocket of Shad and Tony Khan.
Good point.
There. I said my effing piece, and let's move on to the next topic. If the grass is greener,
we're gonna find out
on AEW. If the grass is greener at AEW as opposed to that bad place up north, run by the guy with the bald head and the big nose, and the desiccated corpse of Gomez Adams.
There it is.
If the grass is greener at AEW, well, Jade Cargill said she don't give a shit about whether it's blacktopped over there, Whether the grass is brown and dying, whether it's full of weeds, she don't care. She's out the door of AEW. Her last match for AEW will be tomorrow night on Rampage. It was taped last night after Dynamite. Fortunately, after the Dynamite crowd, probably a lot of them left. No one really stays around that much for Rampage, so they have to tighten up those camera angles even tighter. So she probably lost to Chris Statlander, who's got the TBS title.
So that was her rematch.
That was a rematch, and she did business the right way, on her back, looking at the lights, going out the door, the way in a tried and true tradition of what all the greats have done over the past, in whatever wrestling organization you want to think of. If you're leaving the company, you're not going to go out on a win. You're going to go out on a loss. And Jade Cargill did business the right way. My question to you guys, I'll start with Motorhead. Will she debut on the main roster in WWE? Oh, by the way, before we go any further, this has been corroborated by SRS, Sean Ross Sapp, the Sapster. The Sapster has said on Fightful yesterday and today, he verified it today on his Twitter, stating that she is going to WWE. And everybody said, no.
What I read was he said most likely going to WWE. That's what I read. I saw that he said most likely going there. I didn't see a definitive statement. So it's the wrestling business. I trust these guys about as far as I can throw them. This could be a total work. It could be a total work for all we know.
You throw that out there, most likely, because if she is talking to WWE right now, which she couldn't do when she was contractually obligated to AEW,
Correct.
Now that date's been fulfilled, her last date, she can actually talk and negotiate her salary and all that with WWE because of her non-compete. She probably has a minimal non-compete with AEW. If he didn't put on non-competes, he really must be the nicest guy in prison, as Jim Cornette would say, not having him on non-competes, because he really must want to be loved by all his wrestlers. Tony Khan, that is. So I would say she's on a non-compete, maybe 30 days. She'll debut at the Survivor Series. She's probably negotiating right now. If negotiations fall through, she doesn't get the money she wants. That's why Sapp puts in most likely. In case through some act of God, she says no. This is what we're looking at. But where else is she going to make that kind of money? Impact? Impact? On Axis? With 88,000 people watching?
That's right.
More people were allegedly in Wembley Stadium watching that show than an average day of Impact Wrestling on Thursday nights.
Pickens are
She's never going. She's not going to Impact. Yeah, she's not going to Impact.
You got to answer the question though. You got to answer the Motorhead. Where do you think she's going to go? Is she going to go to NXT? If she leaves, where does she go?
You know, based on her popularity, based on her following, I can't see her starting in NXT. That's just my opinion. Either way, I think WWE, once she does go there, because I do think it's going to happen, they got a plan already set up on what they're going to do with her. And at one time, she was one of the biggest merchandise sellers in all of wrestling for a little while, wasn't she?
She had that T-shirt out. That bitch show. She said that when she first got the TBS belt.
Yeah.
She said the TBS stands for That Bitch Show. And she likes to drop a few profanities in her promos. Like, cut the shit, Tony. She would say to Shivani all the time.
Shit, Tony. I think
it was kind of refreshing.
You know that? I do.
What's that?
All right.
I think she's definitely going to go to the main roster. That's just, once again, my opinion. We all have our different ones. But I just don't see her anywhere but that because of the history and the amount of people that follow her and already know her. I mean, NXT is always the option, maybe to start out, but I think they're going to push her right to the top, right to the main roster.
I think they're going to put her in a performance center to try her out, not to go on TV in NXT, but just to work out at the performance center for a week or two and see what she can do. Keep in mind, she looks like $1 million. She's a former fitness model. She's actually competed in a women's bodybuilding championship contest when she was in AEW. And she did that for like a weekend when she was off for like 2 weeks. And she was in fantastic shape to begin with. She always is. Just keep in mind, guys, she looks like a star.
Hold on.
She looks like a star. She's got charisma. But when the bell rings, it's a shit show. She runs around the ring like a blindfolded newborn baby deer. And she's got to get talked through by whoever her opponent is through a lot of her matches. She can't call her own matches. Bryan Danielson was working with her in the ring before events. And that's a fact. Trying to get her better. Right. They would go to the Nightmare Factory for like a couple of weeks. The AJ Marshall and Cody Rhodes owned training center. Cody Rhodes still owns that training center, the Nightmare Factory, which is their version. It's a shittier version of NXT, of the Performance Center. And her and Danielson were going there also. But that was few and far between the amounts of time she would go in there.
Okay. I got a different take from.
What's your take? Put her right.
Lay it on us, Dawn. Let's hear it, baby.
But wait a minute. Hang on a second. I would put her down there for, like I said, for a couple of weeks, and then after that, after she shows them what she can do, they can make a decision of whether or not to start her out on the main roster or put her on NXT, and maybe beat Becky Lynch for the NXT title. Now we'll talk about that later on. Or they could drop her right in as a tag team partner to Nia Jax, who made her return this past Monday night on Raw.
There is no way you can put her on the main roster right now. There is no way you can put her on NXT TV right now. The only thing you can do with her right now is train her up. She is not experienced enough either on the mic or in the ring to make an impact in the WWE right now. She's just not. There's a reason her matches were so brutal. No one ever worked with her long enough or told her what she was doing wrong. I will say this. She's got a look. She is a good-looking woman. She's a big, tall woman. She's got something that a lot of females in wrestling don't have, in that size. When she gets in the ring with the other girls, she looks like she's going to beat the shit out of them. She looks the part, but she does not know how to get in that ring and have a wrestling match. And her personality is such that I don't know you can make her face for a while. She's going to have to be the heel, so she's going to have to lead the match. She's not ready for NXT. She's not ready for WWE. The only way this is going to work is if she goes there, swallows her pride, and acknowledges, I've got a lot to work. And I don't know her as a person, but when you've been in the limelight on national television the way she was for the past couple of years, I don't know that she would be able to swallow that and say, okay, I don't know enough about this business. I need to go down here and start over. Which is why I'm not so sure she's going. I'm not so sure this whole thing's not at work to get the fan base up in arms over it. My opinion could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope she goes to WWE. I think she'd be a hell of an asset in that company. They need more people to come in there and challenge Rhea Ripley. They need more people to come in there and get it on with Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
I just don't think she's ready now. Her mic skills, unless she can swear on TV, they're just not there yet. Like if you're going to cut a promo on the WWE, you've got to be able to get away with doing it by being, clever with your witticism. You've got to be able to cut to the bone. John Cena can cut you to the bone without saying a single bad word and make you look like a standing idiot. And he doesn't have
improvisational skills. You need improv skills.
The dude is a verbal razor blade just waiting to slit your throat at any given second. She doesn't have that yet, but I will say I love her look. I think she's got something. I just think it's got to be finely tuned. And I swear if she's leaving, I'll be so happy. It'd be the best thing for her career, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She stated she wanted to be in movies also. If you're going to go to movies, and you're a wrestler, the WWE would be the place to go. For pure visibility, for name value. Plus the fact that you'll become a star. They'll make you a star in the WWE. She wasn't served well by having short matches, Goldberg-style matches in AEW, because she needs more ring time. 2-3 minutes of ring time is nothing for her. She's not going to learn anything. A clothesline, body slams, front face locks, full Nelsons, whatever she does. I think she does the Widow's Peak as a finisher, if I'm not mistaken.
It's something like that, yeah.
Something along those lines. What Victoria used to use in WWE.
By the way, where's that chick? Not Victoria, but the one that came into. Sorry, not Victoria, but Valkyrie. What's her name?
Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, where the
yes.
hell's that chick? Where's she?
If you
That's her finisher.
If you knew how to wrestle, they won't put you on TV.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
You'll have Darby Allin in his tights and his Daisy Dukes running around your TV screen. Don't
Shake
get me
that
started on that.
ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. I got a question though. Did you see the news about Edge yesterday? Since we're talking about comings and goings,
Supposedly, Edge will be coming to AEW.
That's what they're saying.
He's been moved to the miscellaneous personnel portion of the WWE roster. If you go on their website, miscellaneous personnel, as in anyone who's signed under a Legends contract, a Legends deal, like Angle, Honky Tonk Man, guys of that nature. They use them when they can. I don't know whether he's waiting for the Screen Actors Guild strike to end so he can go back to work on the Percy Jackson TV series for Disney Plus. I don't know whether that's still going to be a go. They've already filmed some episodes of that. I did hear Christian yesterday refer to
begging.
Christian was
Jesus Christ, send me Edge, because this shit is terrible right now, dog. I need somebody to help me. Do you see this goddamn dinosaur they got me with? Somebody help my career.
He was referring to his tag team partner, his best friend,
Mr.
And I thought for a minute there that was foreshadowing Edge coming in, because I don't think Luchasaurus is his best friend, but he was referring to Luchasaurus. I think if something happens there to split those two up, this is just spitballing. Edge would come in, and Luchasaurus would turn on Christian because he's finally had enough of the bullshit. I'm the one who won the belt, not you. That's my belt, and I'm taking it. And he takes the belt away from him, and then he gets attacked by Edge from behind. Edge comes in.
If he gets attacked, it's going to be by a brontosaurus. That's what's going to come in and squash him.
Not even a T-Rex?
Is going to come in. No, it's going to be a freaking brontosaurus. Step on him. That's it. Game over. I hope like hell Edge doesn't go in there. And it's not because I don't want him to be an AEW guy. It's because the dude's got a serious health issue, man. He can still get hurt. And you saw he was real smart when he did his last WWE run, right? He didn't take any stupid risks. He didn't take any stupid bumps. He didn't do anything that would possibly re-injure him. And they made sure to protect him the whole time. My other issue was this wasn't a particularly good run for Edge when he came back, I thought.
No. That was very boring. Very uneventful.
And yes. Yep.
I didn't see anything he did that, caught my eye or made me want to watch more. I love Edge. When Edge was younger, I loved him. But he came back in phenomenal shape. The dude looked like $1 million. His biggest thing was when he came back to the Royal Rumble. And then from there, I didn't really see anything that really caught my eye. Motor, did you see anything that made you want to watch him routinely?
No, not at all. I was kind of similar thinking as you were. And based on his current health and his prior health problems that he's had with his body and stuff, I was hoping that it didn't happen, and thank God it didn't. But I always had it in my head that he was going to get hurt. The more he kept doing, the more he got hurt. And the fact that they kind of laid off him being on so much and doing as many matches, I think that contributed to the fact that they know, body-wise where he's at. I mean, the guy's been wrestling for what, 20 years? 18 years?
Over that.
Over that.
On the indies, he was known as Sexton Hardcastle.
Yeah.
That was his name on the indies.
He also did some dirty movies.
Uh-huh. Hey, if you want to hear what left-hand cigarettes can do for you and your mental thinking at times, I think Edge is going to go to AEW, and then they're going to bring Gangrel in.
Okay, that's it. You go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner.
He's in shape. He runs his own program. He's ready to go. Not that honestly, I don't think it's really going to happen, but I could see Tony Khan getting a harebrained idea, at least for like maybe a couple appearances or something, just to get the crowd to maybe pop. I don't even know if AEW fans really even give a rat's ass about the Brood like we did.
They do. They will. They'll be throwing their panties in the ring, and that's the guys. The guys will be doing that.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, Larry's talking about when
10-minute corner out or 15. I'll be back.
Larry's talking about when Edge was in the Judgment Day. He kind of run it, but he sort of fizzled away when he left. The truth is that they had all the heels get hurt all of a sudden, and they had to turn him face and bring in Finn Balor to become the new heel. I remember how that happened because all the faces got hurt all of a sudden at once, and they didn't have enough baby faces in the company. And that's sort of how that happened. I thought when Edge was in that group, man, I thought they were going somewhere with him. That group had potential. Yeah.
And it had a supernatural aspect to it, like an Undertaker's type of aspect.
Absolutely.
Like
going back to his Brood days.
I was just going to say that Brood 2.0.
So that happened. I mean, Johnny, I know there was something else you want to talk about that Motorhead was fired up.
Well, let's talk about let's watch this 26-second clip from
Yes, all right, let's do that.
From Jade Cargill. Let me put this on for you guys. And she's talking about this was shared by the Vince McMahon Thoughts account over here on Twitter.
Whose show is this so we can give him credit?
I have no idea, brother. But we'll find out.
It.
Time I used a chair, I remember CM Punk was like, you have to choke it up like this, and like, because they were like, oh yeah, you're gonna use a chair. I'm gonna use a chair. I've never used a chair in my life. How do I use a chair? And no one gave me instructions other than him to show me how to use a chair, and I had to perform this on live TV.
And CM Punk's the GOAT. That's why.
Yeah.
So
he's
wait,
a great guy.
You used the chair for the first time ever on TV.
On TV.
Wow.
Just go ahead and do
That's why CM Punk's got to get fired. That's why he's got to get fired. Right there, because he's helping out young wrestlers.
Just go ahead and do it. Yeah. Just hit him with a chair. Who cares? Yeah, just crack his skull open. Who gives a shit? I know you've never done it before. Go ahead and do it. And CM Punk actually came forward and said, hold it this way. Yeah, choke up on it a little bit. This is how you swing it. CM Punk, the Booker of Collision.
You found that out for sure, huh? Where did you read that at? I want to be able to cite that.
Sportskeeda and Bodyslam.net have mentioned that CM Punk was the Booker of Collision because he had a second contract. The second contract was for an office job. This is how CM Punk could tell Christopher Daniels, excuse me, we don't need you. Go ahead and go. We don't need you here. That's how he could tell Jack Perry on an episode of Collision, I think the second one. You're not putting anybody through real glass. If you would have given us some notice, we could have got you sugar glass. What the stuntmen use. You're not putting somebody through real glass. Sorry. If you don't like it, you can leave. Pack your shit and get out. That's how he could tell Ryan Nemeth. Do we have a problem? Are you going to do business the right way? You got a problem? Go ahead and leave. Pack your shit and get out. He told a lot of people to pack their shit and get out on Collision.
It would also
and
the show wasn't better.
Yes, the show was not bad at all. The show was great.
It was great. The first month and a half of Collision was absolutely my favorite wrestling show going on, including WWE. They had good matches. I loved how it would open up where they're telling you why they've got a personal issue. They would get into these little quick, minute and a half montages of, I'm going to come kick your ass, and this is why I'm going to come kick your ass. And then they'd have a couple of matches, and then you'd have another little interview section backstage where you got the next angle coming up. It was old school wrestling. It felt like old school wrestling, and it got me captivated as a fan. And I said it from day one. Why would you put such a great show like this on a Saturday night when the audience is garbage? Put this thing on Thursday. What the hell are you doing on a Saturday? This has no business on a Saturday.
If he had any sense, he would have told the company, he would have told Warner Brothers Discovery, look, 6:05 on a Saturday night is a big, sentimental time for wrestling fans. They grew up, a lot of our viewers grew up watching wrestling at that time, from 6:05 to 8:05 on a Saturday night. Why don't you just put us on that time? That way, if there's a college football game coming on, an NFL game, whatever, the World Series, a party, you can see their show, and then they can switch over and go to the other events on other channels. And they wouldn't.
Well, here's the thing, Johnny. on Saturday nights, the big college football games don't start kicking off till 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So
Right.
if you've got an hour and a half invested in this show, all right, I want to see how this ends real quick. I'll DVR the game and just fast forward the commercials, but I want to see how my wrestling program ends. This is how I used to do it whenever Monday Night Raw was so hot. I would DVR the football game and come back to it afterwards. Let me get through these commercials, but I want to see what Steve Austin does in this next match. Where's my TiVo, man? I got to get my TiVo on. But it is what it is. I mean, that's going to be a dying horse. They had less than 500,000, viewers again this week. So that's not a good number, man.
It's circling the drain. It's circling the drain.
Mm-hmm.
If it makes it through winter on Saturday nights, it'll be a miracle.
I think it'll make it just because it'll make it just because, Tony Khan doesn't mind losing $1. I mean, this is the best thing that could happen to cable television is when the guy that owns a company doesn't care that he's losing money. That's like, look at this jackass. I can't wait for this. Get this guy out here, man.
Give him 10 shows.
Yeah,
give him 10 shows.
He's losing money. Morons.
Oh, my God in heaven. What else you got, Don?
Oh, no, we got to talk about Motorhead's favorite new topic. His favorite new topic. He was fired up last night. My man was hot.
Filipino hookers.
No, that was the last week.
That was the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
NXT and Becky Lynch got my man all kinds of pissed off last night. I don't know why he was mad as a hornet because they were talking about it. Why were you so pissed off, man? Were you low on sugar?
No. Thank God, no, sir. I was not low on sugar, and I was not low on booze either. Everything was okay. It frustrates me seeing the things they're doing there right now. The things that they've and some of the people they're also trying to push. It got me pretty pissed off, and the fact that women's match. No thanks. That was Dawn. Just give me
Are you talking about Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton?
There it is.
That's the one right there. It's hard to put into words, but I thought that was one of the biggest garbage endings matches, feels whatever you want to call it, that I've seen in a long time. And it started out okay, in my opinion. But as far as the match went on and then the outcome and the result, holy mother of God. If I had something to throw at the TV and I didn't give a rat's ass about it, it was that bad, man. I mean, and I can't be the only one that thought that, but there's so many people I was interacting with on Twitter today. Oh, that was a great match. That was I'm like, what the hell were you guys watching? And I wasn't on acid or any hallucinogenics or any of that bullshit. I was straight up watching it, and yes, I was very upset.
No mushrooms.
No shrooms. No.
Okay.
I'm tripping balls, son.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton was a standout prospect in the NIL, Next in Line program that NXT runs, that the WWE runs, where they take athletes from colleges and other sports programs, right, and bring them in. Tiffany Stratton was a number one prospect. She comes from the world of collegiate gymnastics, as you can tell by the way she wrestles.
Yeah, all the flipping.
All the flipping. And whatever they told her to do, she's a good soldier because she does whatever she's told to do. They said get some new cans, so she took a month off and got some new cans put in. Some new sweater meat, as they say.
Miller Lite? Oh, we're talking about Miller Lite here.
No. We're talking about these aren't light. They look pretty heavy to me. But yes. Stratton's a good-looking kid. She's extremely young. I think she's 23, 24 years old, younger than Rhea Ripley. She's a 5-star prospect. I'm getting like Dave Meltzer, the well-renowned wrestling analyst, Meltzer, as a 5-star prospect. Stratton's a 10-star prospect as far as I'm concerned. She's made for the main roster with the Valley Girl, Daddy's little rich girl gimmick. And I think it was a great way to kill two birds with one stone. Number one, Becky Lynch never won the NXT Women's title. That's been taken care of now. She beat Tiffany Stratton. So she's got that on her plate. She can say, I've won the NXT Women's title. Number two, this is going to be able to bring up Tiffany Stratton, who they wanted to bring up around WrestleMania time. And she said, no, because my promos are weak. My speaking ability is weak.
Yeah,
I want to refine it down here.
I remember you talking about her saying that.
I would have refined my character down here. I can do whatever you want me to do in the ring, and she can. But she said, I want to work on my verbal skills. And the guy that's helping her with her verbal skills is the great member of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, who is he's man of the year because he's dropping it in Tiffany Stratton, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying, folks.
Well, here's the thing.
So hang on a second.
No, there's three things. You're missing the third thing.
When she didn't want to come up, they loved her. They loved her. Triple H and McMahon, Vince McMahon, and Shawn Michaels, who's the booker of NXT, they loved her when she said that. That's somebody who cares that much and wants to do that good of a job. So they honored her request and kept her down here. But now, Motorhead, she can move up to the main roster on Monday Night Raw, where Becky Lynch is, and her boyfriend, Ludwig Kaiser. And she could challenge Becky Lynch on Raw for the NXT title.
Roger that.
So they killed two birds with one stone. Don, what do you got? Tell me.
They did three things, okay?
Yes.
One, you got Becky Lynch away from her previous storyline that was going nowhere. It's finally over. That dog is dead, thank God. Two, you made a star out of one of your girls in one night because everybody was screaming on the IWC, you've killed her, you've killed her. I got news for you. I don't watch NXT. But you know what? I know who this chick is now. I know who she is because she wrestled a star. Whether you like Becky Lynch or not, she wrestled a star. Mm-hmm. She's on the mat now. She's someone to be taken seriously. And number three, you got a rating on NXT. You popped 850,000 people on that show, average. So I'm curious what did that main event draw? Because if you averaged 850, I'm going to guess that main event drew in 900,000 fans, which tells me something else. Becky Lynch is still a huge draw in that company. I was doubting it with what she was going through with Trish Stratus. I was not enjoying that storyline.
Me neither.
Watching that, she's still the main draw for that company. People still dig her. People still love her. They want to see her wrestle. They want to see her put over big stars. I'm intrigued where this goes as far as if it comes back to Raw or if it's going to stay at NXT. I also wonder, and this is just me, I don't know the woman personally, but NXT's in Florida, and I believe Becky and her husband live in Florida, right? And they still have a young child. Maybe this is a way for her to get off the road.
I don't think they live in Florida. I think they live in Ohio.
I thought they did. I thought they
He's
lived
from
in Florida
Ohio.
for some reason.
Colby Martinez is from Ohio. That's Seth Rollins. That's his real name.
But either way, it gets her off the road if she's not going to be on Raw as much, to where she's only got to travel one day a week to get down to NXT. And that's a big change. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But that's just one of those things where I sort of in the back of my mind as a parent went, if I can go to NXT, work one night a week, keep my contract, and be home with my children a little bit more until the build up to Royal Rumble, I'm going to take that route.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at the numbers, Don. Motor. Let's look at the numbers.
Let's see them numbers.
They drew an 850,000 rating.
Right.
And the demo, the 18 to 49, the prime advertising demo that advertisers look at when they want to go ahead and buy ads on your show. They drew a 0.26, which is fantastic.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. Did you know that before that match started, 980,000 people, almost 1 million people, tuned in to watch that match?
So it was 980. That's what I was wondering. I was wondering how many people flipped that button.
For that 15-minute period, it was 980,000 people. That's why it bumped it up to 850,000 viewers.
Yep.
Okay, let's look at overall what all the wrestling shows are doing. And it's right here, courtesy of WrestleNomics. This graphic right here. It's hard to go through the quarters. Okay, they don't have the fourth quarter for 2023 up, which is good because we're not even halfway through that. Through the quarters, AEW Dynamite in the third quarter of this year, which would be, this is September, so we're talking what, Don? We're talking August, July, and June. The summer. They're 12% down in viewers. 12% down. Rampage is 18% down over last year, Motorhead. Impact Wrestling, 89,000 viewers a week. They're up to 15%. They're 15% over what they did last year.
Yeah!
So maybe Naomi, or Trinity Fatu, as she's known on Impact Wrestling, is actually making a difference. Probably not. NXT is up 7% over last year. WWE Raw is down 7%. And that's probably due to the football season starting, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
It would be.
So this time of year, that's when you're going to see that football kick back up, man. And that Monday Night Football matchup was huge this week.
Football preseason probably took them down a little bit. SmackDown is up 6%. 6% up on SmackDown over last year. So WWE product, healthy. Impact, surprisingly healthy.
Good.
AEW is swirling the drain. I hate to burst your bubble out there, all you Cheetos eating, Red Bull swilling, boxer shorts wearing douchebags in the basement with your purple and green hair.
Yeah,
the Dirt Stranglers. I like the orange fingered Dirt Stranglers. That's what I'll call them.
Dirt Stranglers. Yes.
Yes, they're sucking wind right now, unfortunately. So.
Oh, yeah, they'll still back it up. 10 ways to Sunday. Oh, no, we're not losing, Ray. We're still the best wrestling show out there. Everything that AEW offers is still the best wrestling show out there, which is 100% bullshit. The numbers already prove it. But you don't have to be even a statistical genius to realize what's happening with AEW. Just watch the show. Watch it, and you'll see why this stuff's happening.
And Motorhead, you get a lot of flack online. You get a lot of flack on Twitter when you talk to these people and try to reason with these people. There's no reasoning with them. There's no reasoning with these people online. I've been going to war all day, and you just get tired of it. You get tired.
Yeah, screaming at a brick wall.
People that understand that where we come from, our point of view, our perspective as a Squared Circle Maniacs, we're fans. We're fans of professional wrestling. We want AEW to do well. We want it to be a viable alternative to the WWE. But the problem is right now, it's being run like an indie show that you would go on the weekends and pay $40 to go, drop $40 down.
I wouldn't pay $40 for that shit.
I wouldn't pay $40 for that garbage either. I'd pay $5 and free hot dogs, and that would keep me happy for the show. And $1.50 beers. But anyway, be that as it may, we're hoping that it gets better, but it's highly unlikely it's not going to get better unless the guy who owns the company decides to run it like a business and stop using Chat GPT to do these random video game matchups that he thinks would look cool on live television because he's masturbating behind the desk in Gorilla watching the monitor with no pants on. I don't understand it. I can't fathom it. It's a shit show. It's a satire. 100. It's a satire that writes itself. He needs to step aside from booking the shows and let someone who knows what they're doing. You've got Bryan Danielson. You've got Arn Anderson. You've got Jake the Snake Roberts. You've got Sarita Deeb.
Shit, I saw last Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn's still there, man.
And Jerry Lynn. Sarita Deeb, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, has disappeared from AEW TV when they took those internet shows off the air. Mm-hmm. It boggles my mind that this bullshit is... You can fix it. It's fixable.
You're right.
Collision proved that. Motorhead, Collision proved that. Right?
You just got to get the right people, like you said, driving the bus. You got to get the right people in there to do this and set it up the way it's supposed to be because they got the talent, they got the money, They got the production value. You just need somebody with half a damn brain to book the shows. I mean, like we said with Collision, CM Punk, he was running that stuff. We kind of figured maybe it was somebody on the inside, and it was brilliant when it started out. But you're absolutely correct. It can be fixed, but Tony Khan won't ever do it. He's still
to go back to your point.
Don, hang on a second. If you got a promotion, I'll make one last point about this, then I'll turn the tables over to you. You tell me what you think of this. If you've got a promotion and you've got Daisy Duke Darby Allin going to wrestle a match, would you put him in with a guy like Brody King? No. You put him in with a guy like Will Ospreay. You put him in with a guy like your favorite, Orange Cassidy. Let the smaller guys wrestle the smaller guys.
Yeah.
There's a place for that. There's a place for that. Let the luchadors wrestle the fucking luchadors. Let the big guys wrestle the big guys. Let Wardlow wrestle Brody King. Let Wardlow wrestle Lance Archer. Let Wardlow wrestle any one of the three guys in the House of Black. And for that matter, split up the House of Black. They're spinning their wheels. Malachi Black, Aleister Black, whatever you want to call the guy. He's a great wrestler. Give him a chance. Let him go out on his own and do his own thing. Although, in these tag team matches, nobody's getting hurt. There are no major injuries. The guys are taking it easy. When you start to feel a little sore, you tag out to one of your buddies. It's a safe practice, but nobody's hurt. Cut those guys loose. Buddy Matthews is ripped. He can wrestle his ass off. He's Mr. Rhea Ripley, by the way, Buddy Matthews. Let him go and wrestle. Let him wrestle singles matches. Cut all those guys loose from the trios bullshit and let him go and wrestle individually. You don't have to get 1,000 people and 2 hours of TV time on your show, and give the women more than one 5-minute match on a show. Go ahead, Don.
No. Get rid of the women. Get rid of the women in AEW. I don't need to see it anymore. I've seen enough. Get rid of that shit. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm tired of looking at the same 4 girls every week. None of it. There's like 2 that can wrestle. Cut them all loose. Get rid of that nonsense. I don't want to see it anymore. They should not have a women's division. It's not good enough to put on cable. I'm looking right now. This is the difference in people that actually like wrestling and like this bullshit that they're putting on. I'm looking at the Bleacher Report from last night's show, the AEW show that was so bad that I couldn't stomach it for more than 20 minutes. And when I came back 20 minutes later, it was still terrible. Moxley led off against Big Bill, bled everywhere. Don Callis revealed a masterpiece. That was okay. It wasn't great. You had the Grand Slam Women's 4-Way Eliminator. No one cares. It was bad wrestling. You had frickin', here we go, Chris Jericho, the last 6 God speak. I don't care. Hangman versus Brian Page. I don't care. I'm waiting for something to care about. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne versus Parker and Menard. Don't care. Samoa Joe. We got a wrestler. I cared about this match. I wanted to watch this match. I caught the end of this match with Roderick Strong. And you want to know how it ended? You know how it ended?
Double count.
Samoa Joe beat Roderick Strong.
He wins. But then here comes his friend. Adam Cole comes down to the ring, and suddenly, out of nowhere, we're back to Roderick Strong having a hurt neck again. After he just wrestled, it was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It was ridiculous. It was set up terribly. The whole show made no sense. My favorite wrestler of the company, MJF, decided to cut a Scott Steiner promo from 20 years ago that was terrible and lame on the face of it. And I can't believe somebody said, this is a good idea. Go with that. It sucked. It was a can of ass. The whole show was shit. This needs to go away. Somebody help this goddamn cocaine addict out.
I fell asleep during many parts of that show, and I had to get caught up with it this morning over my morning coffee to keep me awake to see this show until I finally saw the end that you're referring to. Now, I actually liked the entire Samoa Joe match straight on through to the very end of the show. I actually liked it, and I'll tell you why. It was the most WWE-like thing that this company has done in a long time.
You like the neck portion? You like when he saw his friend and suddenly his neck was hurt again?
Yes, I like that because the whole thing is it's a jealousy angle that Roderick Strong is playing between Adam Cole and MJF. You left me.
Bottle.
You left me. You left me to take up with MJF, that douchebag, when all I've done for you in the other company, and then when we first came here, all I've done for you. And now you're shitting on me. You let my neck get hurt, and you don't worry about my neck. You worry about that guy's neck. That guy's nothing to you. You just met him when you came into this company. I've known you since Ring of Honor, and now you're shitting all over me. I like this angle where it's going. I like the whole thing. I enjoyed it. And Samoa Joe coming out and throwing that coquina clutch or whatever he calls it, with Adam Cole saying, MJF, Max, I'm going to take away everything you love.
I can deal with that. What I couldn't deal with,
he looked like a lion humping an antelope when he had Adam Cole in a coquina clutch. I loved it. That was the greatest thing. That was the greatest thing on the show. Everything else was forgettable. The women's match was shit. Everything else was forgettable. And did you see today on Twitter how Paige said she put a picture of herself up holding the belt, the women's belt? Hey, and I'm the champ, so fuck you. That's what she said to her fans. I'm the champ, so fuck you.
Nice.
I could. Whoo, that Adam, whoo! Samoa Joe after the match when his friends are yelling as Adam Cole's coming down. You did this to him. You did this. This is your fault. Because as soon as he saw him, he's like, oh, my neck. It was the worst angle in wrestling I've seen in forever. I couldn't buy into any of this horse shit. It was nonsense. I hated every bit of the end of that thing. The only thing that was worth a damn was Samoa Joe beating the hell out of somebody. Again, this comes back to it. Why is it that everybody in this company has a friends issue? Tony Khan doesn't get hugged enough. I'm telling you, this is an internal struggle this man has where he doesn't have any friends, and it's coming out in his wrestling product. Why does everybody get upset because they're friends? You're not my friend. I'm your friend. Well, you turned on me. Now he's my friend. Get the hell out of here, man. This is elementary school bullshit.
Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to shoehorn in as many people as they possibly can to every single angle as they possibly can, because they got all these douchebags on the payroll that are just taking up weight. They're taking up dead weight. That's what they are. You think the Kingdom, what are they called? The Kingdom? Matt Taven and Mr. Maria Kanellis. I forgot his name. The shit stain that married Maria Kanellis. Everybody's forgotten his name. Matt Taven. I forgot the guy's name. He was in WWE with her. You know what I'm talking about. They were there for a cup of coffee. And then he was all effed up on painkillers, and she got pregnant. And they worked Vince to take time off. Then when he came back after she had the baby, she got pregnant again. There was another car in the garage, so she had to take time off then. Don had to step away. He's having a nervous breakdown right now, folks.
I think he's going to go get a machete or some other implement to start. There he is.
There's Don back now.
He's back now. There he is. You good, Don?
Have you calmed down now? Was there a transfer of a nice chilled tumbler of wild turkey on the rocks? Is that what your wife brought you?
I'm still throwing shit. I'm just throwing shit all over the house.
It's terrible. It's terrible, man. All that.
That show made me so angry as a fan. Just it was juvenile humor. The whole thing was juvenile. The whole thing.
Well, in their defense, WWE. Yes, go ahead.
It's WWE is just sort of whitewashed. It's bland most of the time. That's why when you get stuff like the Judgment Day and you get the Roman Reigns run, when you get those things, that's why it gets exciting because it feels like an actual storyline. This feels like a bunch of juveniles in junior high running the school. They're the principal. They're the teacher. You pay attention. They know what's best.
Exactly right.
And now Chris Jericho gets to do all the shit Vince McMahon wouldn't let him do in the 90s and 2000s. He's doing it all now. He's emptying his entire idiot box of ideas right on Wednesday night, just spewing this garbage out of his mouth. I'm done with the whole thing, man. I don't know that I can watch this product anymore until some wholesale changes are made. I can't do it. And they drew 888,000 people. They have got a core audience. They've got a core audience. They are 880 to 890 every week. Those people are going to watch this show regardless of what's on. Good for them. I'm not watching anymore. Get better.
I can't say much more after that.
There's really nothing you can say to reiterate.
Yeah.
Not Chris Hero, huh, Larry?
Chris Hero never drew a dime. Chris Hero never drew a dime at professional wrestling. He was in NXT as Cassius Ohno, and he got so fat.
Oh, there's a name, Jesus.
Cassius Ohno. He got so fat he had to wear a basketball jersey and basketball shorts to hide his wide girth. And he lost a little bit of weight, and they gained it all back again. He got hurt and gained it all back, and they finally let him go. They finally cut him loose because there was no upside to the guy. He was a tag team called the Kings of Wrestling. It was Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli, the former Antonio Cesaro from WWE. They were a great tag team. But he's, like I said, he's never drawn a dime in professional wrestling. He's now a producer for AEW and a trainer. So,
guys, can I say
I got an idea.
Oh,
hang on a second.
Bring back Dennis Rodman Wednesday. That'll put some butts in the seats. Morons.
Even in Chicago, what did it do? Nothing.
I think they should have a tag team of Dennis Rodman, RoboCop, and Chucky versus the House of Black.
House of Black, man. That would pack him in for miles around. I want to say one thing before we split here briefly. Once again, thanks to all the SCM brothers for all the hard work and stuff and doing what you guys are doing. Keep it up. But did you guys see who broke Honky Tonk Man's Intercontinental record?
Oh, your boy. You're going to talk about it.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Gunther, my boy, he broke the record, Honky Tonk Man's record. And from what I have read, there, you hear and read a lot of stuff on the internet. Honky Tonk Man might be used in an angle with Gunther, shaking his hand and congratulating him, and then Gunther's going to beat the living shit out of him. Why? Because Wayne would want something like that, and that's coming straight from the mouth of Dutch Mantel. I think it's great. I think records are there to be broken. The only one that ever pissed me off majorly was when Undertaker lost his streak. But what do you guys think about that? You think it's good stuff, bad stuff? Did it work? Did it not?
Anytime I get to see the Honky Tonk Man get his ass kicked, I'm all about that action, boss.
Mr. Heat Magnet, damn right.
Anytime we get to see Honky Tonk Man on our TV doing the little come out with a guitar, doing a little Elvis shake, the shake, rattle, and roll. Yep. It's a fun time. Just to hear the theme song. Well, I'm a Honky Tonk Man. And it just brings back great memories. However, I think this is a case of Sergeant Slaughter and his daughter, Slaughter's daughter, trying to work an angle in line to get back into the WWE and do an angle with one of their rising talent, like with Lacey Evans. You saw how well that worked out. Lacey Evans is no longer with the company. She's showing her ass out on OnlyFans or a fan page.
Shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got.
And made a shit ton of money doing it, too. More than she made in, a year or two working in wrestling? Jeez Louise, because there's all those basement dweller guys like, man, I can't wait to look at her ass. And
dude, you ain't lying, dude. Them guys got to see some naked chicks in real life. They're going to fucking explode.
They're going to go blind.
Like, they will literally spontaneous combust. Did you guys see, before we go, did you guys see the guy that got caught perving on pictures at a WWE event? Zooming in on the wrestler's ass as she went in.
Oh, yes. That came up. Oh, yes. It's zooming. He put clips. And then
I think I just had a seizure from you screaming.
Dude, I thought that was.
Did you think my Wi-Fi went out?
I did.
For a minute, I was like, this son of a bitch is gone.
You sold the shit out of that, Bottles. That was great.
My eyes were burning. I try to keep them open from that and not blink. I know. I never heard anything about this guy zooming in on girls' butts.
Man, it was great. dude was like, I mean, zoom right in on one of the female wrestlers in the WWE's ass as she was getting in the ring. And I mean, he had no shame. He was getting as close as he could on that picture. Them pixels was tight, son. Them pixels was tight.
Larry said he just pulled a Mitch McConnell. Yes, I did.
Larry. All right,
That
guys.
was a good
Got
one.
anything else?
With these WWE wrestlers, what they did years ago, there were too many nip slips. There were too many snatch exposures in real life because of their gear, the girls' gears. So you'll notice now when they come to the ring, they have pantyhose on underneath their tights, so they keep everything covered up. There's no live vaginal exams on USA Network or on Fox on live television. So are we going to talk about anything else, the big topic, Don? Or are we going to save that for a separate podcast?
I think we got to save that because we're already an hour in. I mean, we had this plan to where we were going to talk about CM Punk's beginning and end in AEW, and so much shit happened the last 48 hours, man. There's
Motor,
so
you got
much to
time?
cover.
Motor, you got time?
Me?
That's
I
an
gotta
hour.
bounce-
No, we can cover
I
that
gotta
an hour,
bounce
man.
out here too right now. So
What's
That's
that?
an hour show.
yeah.
I'm not talking about the big topic. I'm talking about a little old school homage we're going to pay to a recently deceased wrestler from our childhoods, Sheik Adnan El Casey. We talked about that.
God
Let's
rest
bring
his
this up
soul.
right now. And I'm going to read a little bit from his Wikipedia page, and you guys jump in. I'll pause and nod to you guys, and you guys can comment on it. Sheik Adnan El Casey passed away. You know him from
Mid-South. I knew him from Mid-South.
Mid-South Wrestling, and he was also General Adnan
Yes,
in the Sergeant
WWE.
Slaughter heel run during the
Slaughter heel run.
during the Iraqi War. His real name, a lot of people thought he was Italian. A lot of people thought he was Spanish. His real name was Adnan bin Abdul Karim Ahmed Al Casey El Farthe, more commonly known as Adnan El Casey. He was a retired professional wrestler who gained fame during the 70s and the 80s. Actually, a little before the 70s. And we'll go into that in a minute.
Yeah, he had to be because when he got to Mid-South in the 70s, right? In the late 70s as a manager.
Well, he was in the WWF, the WWF.
Tag team champ.
Born in 1939 in Baghdad, Iraq. He was really a real, honest-to-God, pure-blooded Iraqi. He began his professional wrestling career in the 60s, competing in various regional promotions in the United States. Best known as Sheik Adnan El Casey, Billy White Wolf, an Indian professional wrestler, or General Adnan. In 1971, he defeated Andre the Giant in El Shaab Stadium in Baghdad under the auspices of his former high school friend, Saddam Hussein. He was in attendance. And Saddam Hussein's family was also in attendance at this show. He competed in the WWE.
Wild.
That is wild.
That's wild as shit, man.
He competed in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the WWF, for Vince Sr. And in 1976, on December 7th, he won the Tag Team Championships with Joe Scarpa. We all know who Joe Scarpa is, right?
Chief J.
Chief J Strongbow. That's why a lot of people think that Billy White Wolf was Italian, like Chief J Strongbow, Joe Scarpa, but he was not. He was an Iraqi. He was in the AWA under Vern Gagne as Sheik Adnan El Casey, gained prominence as a villainous heel manager and wrestler. He also wrestled there.
Loved him that AWA.
At that time,
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this now. He was in Mid-South for a lot of that, wasn't he? Like, I know I'm not crazy.
He definitely pulled Mid-South.
I'm sure he made an appearance in Mid-South. I'm sure he did. He had a cup of coffee in Mid-South at one point in time.
Okay, I remember seeing him there. I know I'm not going nuts.
He teamed up with Jesse the Body, Nick Bockwinkel, the Sheik character they adopted with the rig name Sheik Adnan El Casey, capitalized on political tensions of the era. He played a key role in feuds and storylines that helped draw audiences to AWA events. He was the manager of a lot of heels that took on Nick Bockwinkel.
Jerry
He was
Black.
also
When he turned into the Ayatollah Jerry Blackwell when he's in AWA.
Did you know that at one point in time with Jesse Ventura, he won the AWA World Tag Team Championships?
Oh, that had
in the 1980s, he went to other promotions. I think this is where the Mid-South era came into play. He went to probably the Mid-South era. He probably went down to Florida Championship Wrestling, for all we know, and worked under Eddie Graham. I don't know. He went into the WWF, where he continued to play the Middle Eastern character of General Adnan.
Damn.
And first he feuded with Sergeant Slaughter, then he teamed up with Sergeant Slaughter. He retired in the late 1980s, stepped away from the whole thing. He did various endeavors outside of the wrestling world. He probably made enough money to buy some businesses like a lot of guys do, restaurants and things of that nature. Small used car dealerships is what a lot of these guys do. And his career was marked by his ability to generate tremendous heat as a villain, as a manager, occasional in-ring competitor, and he left a lasting impact in the wrestling landscape as a foreign heel, one of the best. Billy White Wolf, Adnan Al-Kaisi, General Adnan, God bless you. And he lived a long life. I believe he was 84 when he passed.
Yep. Yes, he was. I'm looking at it now. I swear I remember him in Mid-South for some reason. I don't know why, but I remember him in Mid-South, and I don't know why.
I'm going to look at some tapes tonight, Don, some of my VHS tapes. I'm pretty sure you're 100% on the button right there.
Motorhead, we had a conversation about who was the other Sheik. It was a world-class championship wrestling. Who was that?
Oh, we're talking about General Skandor Akbar?
Skandor Akbar. Skandor Akbar. Yes. Was he in Mid-South, Don?
He was in Mid-South for sure. That one I do.
Well, it's very easy to confuse the two because they had a similar look. They had the head wrap, and they had the goatees.
That might have been why I got it confused, but I swear I thought I saw him there.
Devastation Incorporated was run by Skandor Akbar, right, Motor?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And I love the way Skandor Akbar.
That one, so yeah.
When he would pronounce,
might have gotten him confused. It could happen.
When he would say DiBiase's name, he'd say, Mr. Debussy. Debussy was never DiBiase, it was Debussy. Freaking money.
Damn, I love the old school stuff, man. It was just when they could make up their own promos, it was fantastic.
Well, the worst was Bill Watts announcing names sometimes when he would talk about Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and here comes Jim Dugan. Jim Dugan's got, dude, what did you not read, you jackass? He would say Jim Dugan all the time. Drove me nuts. Here comes Jim Dugan. Which, by the way, God bless Jim Duggan. I don't know if y'all saw, he had a emergency surgery this week. Glad he's out of the hospital. Glad Jim Duggan's doing well.
Right.
Family, man.
He was touring the United States. He was going all around the country with his wife on vacation.
Yes, sir.
He had on his Twitter feed, he had all these different landmarks he was at and all that stuff. And all of a sudden he gets hit with, whatever he got hit with. Don? Uh-oh.
I think Don had to bounce.
Maybe the power went out.
Take us home, my friend.
Let's wait till here's Larry. Larry chimed in. Larry chimed in with the guy's name that I could not remember from the Kingdom. Mike Bennett. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. It was a tag team from a few segments ago that just came back to Larry. God bless you, Larry. Thank you. I had a brain fart trying to remember. Mike Bennett's the guy who married Maria Kanellis. Two huge wrestling grifters. They are con artists. They have no value in the wrestling world. During the Divas era in WWE, she made a lot of money for them with swimsuit photos, calendar photos. She couldn't wrestle a lick. She couldn't cut any promos. She's the worst. Basically, what they did was they had 2 years of maternity leave, courtesy of Vince McMahon. That's what it was. She got pregnant twice, and they raised 2 kids on Vince McMahon's dime. And then they finally got smart and cut them loose. So that's what we're looking at. So what we had prepared for today would be a entire exploratory of CM Punk versus the Young Bucks, where they met, their careers, how it all went to shit, and what is in store now. But because we've gone an hour and 14 minutes right now, ranting and raving about the current state of the wrestling industry. There he goes again.
Throwing stuff again.
And ranting and raving about the news that just came out today and in the last 2 days. I'm sure the wrestling industry is a very fluid business. There's going to be more news coming up. And I'm sure there'll be an announcement next week as to where Jade Cargill is going to
Looking forward to that.
land.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, indeed. And you'll find out where Edge is going to land.
Yes.
Very
Well,
soon.
he's to the end of the month, so we won't know till October.
End of the month. Don't know what kind of non-compete he's going to have on that contract. It might be after the first of the year. He'll be in AEW. Who knows? Their non-competes in WWE are locked down a little tighter than what the Snowman has over there in AEW. Motorhead, we've got a podcast coming up next Tuesday. Am I correct?
This review, Classic Rock Echoes, the second rendition of that one will be coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Don Wayne is still rolling with his Gridiron podcast on Wednesdays.
Yes, sir. Talking football, college and pro.
Upwards and onwards. Got some great topics this week. You guys subscribe, like. We appreciate everyone that has followed us and is still doing so. Hang in there. Things are going to get bigger and better.
And remember one thing, folks. We're just fans. We're fans of professional wrestling. We're fans of football. We are fans of classic rock music. And what we speak about out of love. We criticize out of love because we want things to be good. We want things to be better in the world of professional wrestling. We want things to be better in the world of football. And we love looking back at old rock and roll music that we grew up with, that we still listen to this day. And it's better than all the other drivel that's out there on the radio waves.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Take us home, baby.
That's it.
See you guys.
I think let's turn it over to Gordon.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.